Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Bible Summary Series. Today we're starting in Exodus chapter 21. From Exodus 21 to Exodus 23, God gave Moses a list of laws and commandments the Israelites were to keep. These laws dealt with justice and compassion and how they were to treat each other. And God told them if they would keep his laws, he would bless them and give them the land of Canaan, the promised land. And when they arrived there, they were to wipe out the inhabitants and destroy all their false gods. That way, they wouldn't be tempted to worship those false gods and thus sin against God. In Exodus chapter 24, the Lord said to Moses, "Come up to me, you, Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, and 70 of Israel's elders, and worship me from a distance. But only Moses is to approach me directly. The others must not come near." So Moses went back and told the people all the laws and regulations God had just given him. And with one voice they said, "We will do everything the Lord has spoken." Then Moses wrote those laws down in a book, and he called it the Book of the Covenant. Early the next morning, Moses built an altar at the foot of the mountain and set up 12 stone pillars, each representing one of the 12 tribes of Israel. Then he sent some young Israelite men to sacrifice young bulls as burnt offerings and to give peace offerings to the Lord. Once the men were done, Moses took the blood from the animals and placed half of it in bowls. The other half he sprinkled on the altar. Then he read the book of the covenant to the people, and once again they said, "We will do everything the Lord has said. We will obey." With these words, Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and proclaimed, "This is the blood of the covenant that the Lord has made with you, based on all these words." Afterwards, Moses, Aaron, and his 2 oldest sons, Nadab and Abihu, and the 70 elders of Israel went up the mountain. There they saw the God of Israel, and under his feet there appeared to be a glistening pavement made of clear blue sapphire stones, as bright as the sky itself. But even though they saw him, God didn't harm the leaders of Israel. They saw him, and they ate and drank in his presence. After the meal, the Lord said to Moses, "Come up to me on the mountain, and stay till I give you tablets of stone that contain my laws and commandments that I have written, so you may teach them to the people." So Moses and his assistant Joshua set out, and Moses went up the mountain of God. "Wait here for us until we return," Moses told the elders. "Aaron and Hur are with you. If anyone has an argument, they can go to them." Then Moses went up the mountain, and a cloud covered it. The glory of the Lord fell on Mount Sinai, and that cloud covered the mountain for 6 days. On the 7th day, the Lord called to Moses from within the cloud. To the Israelites below, the glory of the Lord looked like a raging fire on top of the mountain. Then Moses went up and into the cloud, and there he stayed for 40 days and 40 nights. In Exodus chapter 25 to 31, God gave Moses detailed instructions on how to build the tabernacle and everything that would go inside of it, the candlesticks, the Ark of the Covenant, a special altar, and several other things. He also told Moses what kind of sacrifices the people were to give in atonement for their sins, and how to create the special garments that Aaron and his sons were to wear as they served as priests before the Lord. But as God was giving Moses all these instructions, something terrible was taking place at the base of Mount Sinai. In Exodus chapter 32, when the people saw that Moses was taking a long time to come down from Mount Sinai, they crowded around Aaron and said, "Get up and make us gods who will lead us. As for this Moses who brought us out of Egypt, we don't know what's happened to him." And instead of telling them no, Aaron said, "Take off the gold earrings that your wives, your sons, and your daughters are wearing, and bring them to me." So all the people took off their gold earrings and brought them to Aaron. Then he took those earrings, he melted the gold, and molded and tooled it into the form of a calf. With the golden calf gleaming before them, the people shouted, "These are your gods, O Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt." And when Aaron saw how pleased they were, he built an altar in front of the calf and yelled out, "Tomorrow there will be a feast to the Lord." So the next day the people got up early and sacrificed burnt offerings and gave peace offerings to the calf idol. Afterward they sat down to feast and drink and to party. Then they rose up to play. Meanwhile, on the mountain the Lord said to Moses, "Go down at once. Your people, whom you brought out of Egypt, have corrupted themselves. They have quickly turned away from my commandments, and have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and sacrificed to it, and declared, 'These are your gods, O Israel, that have brought you up out of the land of Egypt.' I have seen how rebellious and stubborn these people are," the Lord said in anger. "Now leave me alone, so my anger may burn against them and destroy them. Then I will make you, Moses, into a great nation instead." But Moses cried out and begged the Lord and said, "Lord, why should your anger burn against your people, whom you brought out of Egypt with great power and a mighty hand? Why let the Egyptians say, 'He brought them out to harm them, to kill them in the mountains, and to wipe them off the face of the earth'? Please turn from your fierce wrath, relent, and do not destroy your people. Remember your servants Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, to whom you swore by your own self, saying, 'I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky, and I will give your descendants all this land I promised them, and it will be their inheritance forever.'" So the Lord changed his mind and didn't destroy them. Then Moses turned and went down the mountain, holding the 2 stone tablets that had the 10 Commandments written on them by the hand of God. On his way down he met Joshua, and when Joshua heard the people shouting below, he said, "It sounds like there is war in the camp." "It is not the sound of victory," Moses replied, "nor the sound of defeat, but it is the sound of singing that I hear." When Moses came near the camp and saw the calf and the people dancing and worshiping it, he became extremely angry, and in a great rage he lifted up the stone tablets and threw them to the ground, where they broke into pieces at the foot of the mountain. Then Moses took the calf they had made and burned it in the fire, and when the metal cooled, he ground it to powder, scattered it on the water, and made the Israelites drink it. "What did these people do to you," he said to Aaron, "that you have brought such a great sin upon them?" "Don't be so angry, my lord," Aaron answered, trying to pacify him. "You know how determined these people are to do evil. They said to me, 'Make gods for us who will lead us, for something has happened to this Moses who brought us out of Egypt.' So I told them, 'Bring me your gold earrings.' So they gave me the gold. I threw it into the fire, and, well, out came this calf." When Moses saw that the people were out of control and Aaron had let them run wild until they'd become a laughingstock to their enemies, he stood at the entrance of the camp and shouted, "Whoever is on the Lord's side, come to me." And all the Levites ran to his side. "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says," Moses said to them. "Take your swords and go back and forth through the camp from one end to the other. Slay your brother, your friend and neighbor." So the Levites did as Moses ordered them, and on that day over 3,000 people died. Then Moses said to the Levites, "Today you have been dedicated to the Lord, because you were willing to fight against even your own sons and brothers, and God has blessed you because of this." On the very next day, Moses said to the people, "You have sinned a great sin, but I will go back up to the Lord on the mountain. Perhaps I can make atonement for your sin." So Moses returned to the Lord and said, "Oh, what a terrible sin these people have committed! They have made a god of gold for themselves. Yet even now, please forgive their sin. And if you won't, then please blot me out of your book that you have written." "Whoever has sinned against me," the Lord replied to Moses, "him will I blot out of my book. Now go, lead the people to the place I told you about. My angel will travel before you. However, when I come to visit these people, I will punish them for their sins." And the Lord sent a great plague among the people of Israel because of what they did with the calf that Aaron had made.
On the mountain high and steep, God's commandments Moses keeps. Justice, mercy, laws of love, written by the hand above. We will do all the Lord has said. In his covenant we are led. Through the fire and clouds so bright, God's glory shines in holy light. Yes, we will do all the Lord has said. In his covenant we are led. Down below the people stray, golden calf they bow and play. From the path they've turned aside, chasing idols lost in pride. We will do all the Lord has said, but now they've wandered far instead. Through the fire and clouds so bright, God's glory shines, yet wrath ignites. We will do all the Lord has said, but now they've wandered far instead. Moses pleads, his heart aflame. "Lord, remember Abram's name. Spare the people, turn your hand. Keep your promise to this land." We will do all the Lord has said, but now we tremble in our dread. Through the fire and clouds so bright, God's glory shines, yet holy light. Yes, we will do all the Lord has said, but now we tremble in our dread. Tables shattered on the stone, sin revealed before the throne. Calf destroyed, the people mourn. Moses stands, his heart forlorn. Levites rise with sword in hand. Judgment falls upon the land. Brothers fight a tragic day, yet God's justice paves the way. We will do all the Lord has said. Though many fall, the remnant's forgiven. Through the fire and clouds so bright, God's covenant will guide the fight. We will do all the Lord has said. Though many fall, the remnant's forgiven. Back to the mountain Moses climbs, seeking mercy for their crimes. In God's book their names are sealed, as the plague brings what was revealed. Yet still we trust in God's great plan, led by his angel through the land.